United the sleeping giant. United the sleeping giant. United the sleeping giant.
Wake up out of your sleep. Wake up.
With Miller and KG. Yeah.
That's how we should start. Like, sleeping giant, and then we wake up. Intro, bam.
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna let you start the intro.
Guys, welcome back. Sleeping Giant podcast episode 3. Minna, KG, we here, we live. Big up to the dead. We're not live actually.
Live, don't worry, live, just live.
But we're live because we are live, just not live.
But no, that's what I'm saying. They're saying they want that. They're saying they want that, but I told them, listen, respect.
They gotta run up the views on the episodes.
There you go.
And then we'll do a live stream.
Yeah. I like that. That's good work, to be honest. But we gotta talk because a lot's happened. Imagine. Wait, so the last time we was podding was it the day after Arsenal?
Arsenal, oh yeah. And so much has happened since then.
And then since a quick update, we played Nottingham Forest, and we got moved to.
Yeah.
We got moved to. Hold on, I'm gonna put you on because I'm looking at you on the wrong screen. There you go, right there. We got moved to in a bad way, man.
No one's talking about it. No one's talking about the Forest game. You know that.
Why are we doing that?
Because everyone's, the bombshell that came, like the Love Island bombshell. If you know what
the
Love Island bombshell that happened the next day, that is what everybody got preoccupied with. And now everyone just forgot about the Forest game.
And it was a disgrace. And there was so much. We'll probably get back to the Forest game. But ever since we've had that, ever since that bombers happened, I'm just gonna ask the question straight away. So right here it is. Let's go. Can we really trust Ineos? So now, obviously, Dan Ashworth is gone. Yeah. This moment of recording, Dan Ashworth is gone. We know that now. And they've made a lot of setbacks. They made a lot of cutbacks.
Yeah.
Christmas party cancelled. Yeah. Which is £40 M&S voucher. Ticket prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Ten Hag gets that long. Remember, we do that strategic review. Keeps the job. Give him new signings.
Yeah.
Dan Ashworth. We chased Dan Ashworth for
6
all
months.
our time. We chased him for 6 months. Gardening leave. We pay the money. We sack him. Minna, can we trust Ineos? The floor's yours.
I think from what they've done right now, the track record's not that good. But can I say with Jim Ratcliffe, Nuruddin, shout out Nuruddin. Do you know Nuruddin?
Yes, of course I do.
Yeah, shout out Nuruddin. He's been warning us. Nuruddin been warning us, saying anyone that gets into bed with the Glazers, you can't trust. Yeah, and he did give. Listen, let's be real. His deal that he gave to the Glazers was the more favorable one to them because they can stay involved in the club and still make their money. And obviously, at the time, Al Thani was not giving them financially what they wanted. On paper, Al Thani's offer was better, I think, for the fans, but the Glazers wanted Jim Ratcliffe. And I feel like Jim Ratcliffe pulled at the strings of the British media, this British-born CEO, Manchester through and through, United fan. You weren't a United fan when you were trying to buy Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I had these views at the time. So no one can say to me my views have now changed because of everything. I actually feel like a lot of people are not deep in. My biggest concern is how they are treating the working class people of Manchester. I'm talking about their employees. That bothers me. And some people are saying to me, no, but it's a business. You have to cut costs and all of that. That's true. I've been in jobs, where new ownership will come in. Bam, you'll see redundancies, etc., etc. But when you're trying to win fans over, you can't be cutting costs in the club and then making things expensive for the fans. For me, anyone under 16 or over 65 should not be paying £66 for a ticket. Where is a pensioner getting £66 per game to buy tickets? And his whole argument, was in the interview that he did, I think it was with BBC Sport, he said Fulham tickets are around £66. And he was like, there's no reason why Manchester United tickets should be cheaper. Well, firstly, the average price house in Fulham is about 1.5 million.
Yes.
That's not the average price house in Manchester, in Salford, and those areas in the Old Trafford area. And like I said, what bothers me the most, maybe people don't agree with me, it's the non-footballing stuff, because that impacts, for me, the normal people like myself, like you, like all the fans. And there's so much things that he's done, but for me, I think it's even like his commitment to, you know, the regeneration of the Old Trafford area. You know, he's lobbying the government. You know,
Yes.
he was hosting Keir Starmer when he was the leader of the opposition back in May. Yeah, the same day, Man United women were in the FA Cup final. There is no way to say that you don't care about the women's team by turning up to that. He didn't turn up to it. And then he comes into the media now and he does way too many media appearances, in my opinion, for a owner of a club. He's talking to that, he's yapping way too much. But he came out in the media saying, yeah, you know, the girls are not our priority right now. We need to focus on the men's team. How do you think that makes the players feel in the women's team? There are fans who probably follow the men's team as well, but are committed to traveling up and down the country to watch the women's team. Dan Ashworth was an ally of the women's team. I didn't like his decision to keep the manager, but he was someone who regularly attended the games. Omar Barada's been to a game. He was regularly there, used to go visit them at Carrington, watch them train, even like the academy team. And for me, it's like the whole cost-cutting thing. You're happy to make a poor decision to keep Ten Hag and then spend 14 million to get rid of him. Then you were happy to pay when Dan Ashworth was threatening Newcastle to take them to court about the gardening leave thing. It was reported that Man United were willing to pay the legal costs for him to get him out of the job quicker. So you could do all of that, but when it comes to the working class people of Manchester and the common employees that you have, bro, he even cut costs. Yeah, this is what's mad to me. The cost that he cut is the packed lunch that they give stewards at Old Trafford. Yeah, I've worked as a steward. I've worked as a steward, yeah? I've worked as a steward. You do a 6-hour shift, yeah? You turn up 2 hours before the game and you leave an hour and a half after the game, yeah? And then throughout the game. You would get a packed lunch, a sandwich, a crisp, because you don't have time to go and buy food from the kiosks and that. So they give you a packed lunch. He's cut those costs. The cost that he's cutting isn't damning to the executives that they're hiring and firing and hiring and firing. It's not the players who they're happily giving bumped up contracts to. It's the normal people like us. Ineos for me are on fraud watch. Specifically, Jim Ratcliffe. Jim Ratcliffe is on fraud watch for me.
You know what's mad? So you said a lot of things here, and deep in it all, I got a little echo. I think your thing's a bit loud. I don't know if you can.
Let me turn it down.
Yeah. So you said a lot of things, and when I'm trying to deep everything that you're saying right now, it's mad for me because Sir Jim, yeah, like we were excited to get him. No, actually, let's get this right. Everyone was doing the Qatari flags. Everyone was saying,
"Don't say we, bro. We're not French here. Don't say we."
No. I'm saying that we at first there was the excitement of everyone saying saying oil me up. That was the buzz. Everyone was on Sheikh Jassim. That was what we were saying. Everyone couldn't wait, yeah. And then the 92 Foundation, when I remember Rio Ferdinand just being at the train station saying it's happening.
Yeah.
And then we saw the hit pieces. You know, all the media was saying, and it was like Athletic, everyone, bare writers were getting crazy.
Yeah,
and they were like, talking about the culture, and they were saying why Sir Jim is better because he's a local guy, he's this, he's that. And that was the talk. But now when you look at it, and someone else mentioned this in a super chat, they said, imagine Sheikh Jassim came over, cancelled the Christmas party. Yeah, already that's mad. Yeah, cancelled the Christmas party, got rid of the lunches, got rid of like most of the people working at the club, like halved it. Like we would have lost them. People would have lost their mind. They got rid of the disabled.
They've cut the cost for the disabled supporters club.
Disabled supporters club. Imagine, I think if Sheikh Jassim done one of those things, you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't believe.
There'd be a petition to ban him from the UK. Like there would actually be a petition to ban him from the UK.
There you go. And it's what's crazy is because this is an out of touch billionaire. That's what he's moving like right now.
That is the best way, to describe him. He's an out of touch billionaire. That is facts.
Billionaire. And he's making out of touch moves. Even that Fulham bar, he thought it banged. He was like, because it's not Chelsea you're getting to watch. It's Fulham.
Yeah.
And Fulham, by no stretch, should be asking for this much money.
But their fans are protesting that as well. They're protesting the ticket price. So he's clearly out of touch. He don't know what's going on.
And even in Fulham, and let's have it right though. Fulham house prices, we know the difference to a Manchester house price. You can't compare them. You can't That is the heart of London, like the heart of London. And Manchester, yes, is up and coming, but then those house prices are not talking to these ones. So this man just doesn't get it. But then he said he's not gonna be in control. He said he's got the people involved and he's not taking control.
It
And
sounds like he's in control though, because
control.
the Dan Ashworth thing. Let's talk about that. Yeah,
That's where we are. That's what I'm saying.
Why is he allowed to override decisions? Like, if you've hired a football guy who you clearly, I think, misprofiled, I think what he thought he was getting and the reality of Dan Ashworth was two different stuff. I feel like he looked at Brighton's model and he looked at, Newcastle through their takeover, etc. He looked at the FA and the Centre of Excellence that he helped build, this harmonious England team under Southgate, and he thought, yeah, this is the guy. But I don't think Dan Ashworth was ever meant to be a sporting director. I think his key part should have been building the culture in the club to improve, improve the relationships in different departments to make everything like one model. That's what I think.
That's not our problem, though.
No. But I'm saying they made him a sporting director. Then they're putting the blame on him for keeping Ten Hag. They're putting the blame on, the recruitment in the summer. But if that's the guy that you've hired, yeah, why is your decision making overruling him? If that makes sense. Like,
yes.
And that's what I'm saying. He's too involved. He's too
very involved. No, but again, I can't remember how much he put down to buy this club. It's a lot of money. So if we thought he weren't going to show involvement, we were being naive ourselves to think that he wasn't going to have a level of involvement. But then where it gets a bit scary is we look at the Brailsford guy, yeah, and he plays a significant role. But why do we trust him when he's coming from a different sport? I know there's transferable skills, but we're talking about, I get marginal gains, this, that, and the other, but then we've just we're so desperate for change. Was this change for the best? Like the Glazers had to kind of relinquish power in a sense, but they're
still there. Joel Glazer made the decision with Jim Ratcliffe to get rid of Ashworth. So they're still there. But on your point about Dave Brailsford, I feel like, again, football is not like cycling. Yeah. It's not like Formula One. I feel like you said, there are transferable skills.
Yeah.
Someone like Dave Brailsford, he is, I don't think, a football man. I don't think he's a sport man. I think he's all about, like mentality and mindset. And again, that's all transferable into football. That's transferable into any avenue in life. But then seeing you traveling with the team for pre-season and, you're at every game and you're part of the decision-making, why are you hiring people like Omar Barada if Dave Brailsford is heavily involved as well? Do you get it? Like, for me, the CEO should be the guy that's calling the shots because he's the guy that's been put in place by the board, right? And if that's the case, and I'm with the Dan Ashworth and Barada thing, apparently they clashed a lot. And I think also this was going to happen when you've got a lot of personalities and egos in the boardroom making decisions. Because you're telling me there's about 7 execs in the boardroom making decisions. That's crazy.
They want to streamline it, right? They want to streamline how the club looks, and they made a mistake. The main thing is they brought in Dan Ashworth, and I think Brailsford and Barada obviously Barada plays a massive role, but I don't think Brailsford's role is small as well. He's significant. He's there. You see him in all the pictures. He's around, and now, so you got to say he is part of. Well, you see him in organizational structure, but then he's a massive part in this. And I think probably Dan Ashworth, similar to how he was at Newcastle, just was like, I was brought in here to be in control and of so many departments or the sporting director, and you lot are not allowing me to do my job. And now that's why they said they're going to share it between Wilcox and Barada.
But also, it could be like, like if you like to cook, when I'm cooking food, I don't want no one in the kitchen. I don't want people around me. I don't want you in my space. Leave the sink for me. I feel like it's too many people in the kitchen trying to cook a meal, and everybody's trying to put their little input. The recipe is going to get effed.
I'm going to talk to the other side of it, though. As much as this is all mad, there is a positive.
What's the positive then? Because I can't see a positive right now, but maybe because I'm being harsh.
Yeah, no, but I think you're right to be harsh because they should be called out for all the nonsense they're doing, and they're doing a lot of nonsense. But these people are trying to make a right now change to the club. So yes, we fixed up the training facilities. Ronaldo cussed out that facility. It was horrible. And they've changed that. That's the first thing that they had to change. And they actually, there's some attention to detail on trying to fix things, even mistakes that they've made. So let's have it like Ten Hag probably would have stayed a bit longer. It maybe under the Glazers. The Glazers probably would have waited until
the Glazers would have sacked him after the FA Cup, bro. Let's be real. The Glazers would have got rid of him. Yeah, the Glazers would have got rid of him.
Woodward, remember it's Woodward, you know.
Ed Woodward would have done some madness, sack him, and go and get Poch. Like, get a random manager that is a big household name and be like, come take the job.
But then I don't know if that would have been that wouldn't have been the best thing. I think the way they got Ruben was impressive.
Yeah.
Euro, like, so we'll get into, because that's another type of question. But I think bringing in Ruben, good decision. Trying to be proactive, trying to have your finger on the pulse. Even the players that they're saying are available right now for sale. Yeah. That lets me know that they're proactive. They are trying to be proactive, but it's mad because.
Do you think it's proactive or reactive? Are they? Huh?
Yeah, but then
do you really think they're being proactive? Because I think they're being reactive to the shit season that United are having. I don't think they're being proactive. Proactive would have been selling half these men in the summer, which apparently I read it in The Athletic that Ratcliffe wasn't happy with the amount of players that left in the summer and felt like Man United and Ashworth could have got some more players out of the door. But equally with saying that, I think they're being reactive right now. They're looking around and looking for scapegoats. They're looking at the players thinking, who can we scapegoat to make the face of this poor project?
Well, they made Dan Ashworth the face of the poor project at the moment.
He's the face, and you know who's the guy right behind him, second in command? Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is the second in command of the face of this crap project that Ineos have, because the amount of PR pushing clearly coming from the club or people within the club, or maybe it's just the media that like a witch hunt against a young black boy that might not be performing well at the moment, but they feel like he earns way too much money. But the media push on Marcus Rashford for me is madness.
No, but I do. You know me. Usually, culturally, I would definitely stand in the gap and say, yeah, this young black boy, this, that, and the other, and I see free tax and that. Yeah, but I can't do that this time because he's been garbage.
No, but the criticism is warranted. But then when I see, I'm gonna call it what it is. When I see racist undertones in articles. Talking about his upbringing and how, you know, he's living lavish. And what if he's living lavish?
Yeah.
He came from a poor background. That has nothing to do with the football that he's playing right now. He's playing poor football because A, maybe mentally he's not in the right place. B, maybe his body's starting to give up on him. 3, maybe he wants to leave the environment that he's in.
Yeah.
But when I read articles pushed by these journalists talking about what he like, why are you watching what a man's wearing? Why are you watching the fact that he brought his mum a house? Or a car, or, you know, he goes to America and he's courtside at the Knicks game wearing bare chains. And what if he's doing that? Criticize him for what is on the pitch. And that's how I feel about everyone. I might not be I'm not fond of like Anthony, but I will never be like, oh, why is Anthony having a baby? He should be focusing on his football.
Yeah.
Why is he busy taking care of his wife and kids? No, I don't care about that stuff. I'm going to criticize him for the football. So I feel like with Rashford, unfortunately, I say this all the time, bro. The day that Rashford went after the Tory government during lockdown, that's when he made himself a hit for the media. And since then...
But then I have to say, and I'm with you, because that is definitely there. But then the Man United fans that have to see Rashford week in, week out, it's shambolic. When we're talking about it's shambolic, Minna. We have to call it a
spade. You have to call it out.
His performance.
100%.
He walks, Minna. He walks. Like, we're playing today. At some point, Rashford's just going to be walking on the pitch, doing like.
But you know what I think is telling as well is that he's been benched 2 Premier League games in a row. I think he's actually done. I think he's done at United. I think he's done.
Absolutely. I think because there was an article that came out said the club were really upset with what you know, that Belfast trip. You're right. I think the PR has been. Take all the attention.
He doesn't help himself as well. That's the thing. He doesn't.
There you go.
He doesn't help himself.
There you go. I think you're actually really on point. I think it's a good hot take. Actually, the club has basically said, take all the attention off us, Ineos, and put the attention where it needs to be. So we're gonna blame Dan, blame Rashford.
Yeah, because have you seen, like, since Ashworth got sacked, all we're hearing now about United are willing to sell X number of players. They're ready to axe, you know, Rashford and this person and that person. Yeah, basically everyone can get it. but where was this conversation last week?
Yeah.
They needed they needed to divert the attention, because the criticism was heavy on Ineos, like on Sunday and Monday. Like,
And it's
fans
not
were
going to
having them.
change.
Huh?
It's not going to change. It's not going to change. Remember, there was actually there was a game where they done a protest. The
Yeah,
fan
it was
club done a
the Everton game. It was about the ticket price.
That's what I'm saying. But then because everything's been warm and Ruben's been there and stuff, they have, you know what? They have got a bly. They have got a bly. And I think, big shout out to Nuruddin actually, but shout out to all the people that said they've had side-eye on Ineos from the beginning. I was really excited. I think we apologized to Ineos because after they started building the up-to-date training ground, and we saw that they were trying to be busy. It was like, yep. And we saw all the people that are bringing in Vivell, Jason Wilcox. Remember, was putting together the Sinister Six. It was like, oh my God, footballing people in place, like things that normal clubs should do. We were already excited about that. But
Stop saying we. We don't speak French here, bro.
Yeah, but some people.
I've been on their necks from when they kicked the women's team out of their new facility to put the men's team there. That's when I've been on to Ineos.
Yeah.
Since then.
And I can't even be a criminal because I don't pay attention to the women's team. We done something the other day and then on this channel, and I said, name 5 players from the women's team. And I couldn't do it. And not a lot of the community could do it. Shout out Dr. NHS and Riri in that. And like, who else? There's a
But the thing is, women's football ain't for anyone, innit? I don't try to force people to get into it because sometimes it is difficult for people to get into it. So I'd rather you naturally get interested in it rather than forcing it on you.
Not like a force thing, but then, like, it's one of those things where I can't believe my team's turned into this. I used to watch all of Match of the Day, man. I used to watch
Match of the Day.
Like, no, I used to watch all of it. Like, we were so good, yeah. Then I started watching Match of the Day and I was like, right, they're taking long for our highlights. And then when they make you part of the end bit.
The little end part where it's just like condensed of like 1 minute.
Yeah. And I said, no. We've been.
You know what I think though, quickly, just on the whole Ineos thing. Yeah. I think this Ineos thing can fully decide the tenure for Ruben Amorim, because he might not, like, if these kind of mishaps continue to happen, like the executives, like the senior decision makers are falling out with the owners, or all of this poor decision making, Amorim might turn around like a year into the job and be like, I can't do this. Because he himself has come into a rebuild.
No chance.
You don't think so?
No. Because
you don't think if it gets toxic with Ineos that he won't turn around and be like, I can't do this?
No, because there's too much money money says, money talks, yeah. And they're looking at, one thing for sure is they're looking at Sir Jim, and Sir Jim, billionaire energy, is saying, I want you lot to fix this now. Like, he's not waiting.
I can't lie though. Jim Ratcliffe, for me, he gives me. This is why billionaires stay rich. Like, this is why God never made me a billionaire. Because I'd be broke. I'd be throwing money left, right, center.
Yeah, you'll be throwing that piece.
But Jim Ratcliffe is a broke billionaire. He moves like a broke billionaire.
No, billionaires move like this.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. God made him a billionaire.
No, they're stingy. We're not actually seeing a broke billionaire. We're seeing how billionaires move, and they're saying, look, we're going to do this and do this. You think Barada's not got pressure? Them lot are looking, he's under pressure. Everybody. And that's the one good thing that I'm excited about. These players, there's nowhere to hide. Because they know now.
Say that all the time, man. Come on.
No, this is
all
the
the time.
first
There's nowhere to hide.
This is the first
and then they be hiding.
No, Mina, first time I can honestly say nowhere to hide. You saw Rio Ferdinand swearing. Rio saying, get some of these shit players out. Now what you're having is, if you're going to get rid of Dan Ashworth, our manager said it just the other day in the last presser. He said, listen, if things don't work out, coaches can go, players can go, anyone can go.
I think Amorim knows who he wants to get rid of. I think he knows.
Absolutely. Let's go there, because I'm going to put this on screen, because there's been a lot of paper talk and stuff. And I did a show this morning, Keep Bench Sell. You've never seen this, yeah? I just want to see your reaction to this, actually.
I know there's going to be some mad stuff on there, man.
This is what they're doing. Okay. So,
Ahmad.
this is the keep list. Kobe, Lenny, Ahmad, Delit, Ugarte, Mazraoui, Rasmus. Rasmus moved so many times in this show. Now on the bench, we have Harry Maguire, Alejandro Garnacho, Terrell, Andre Onana, Lisandro, Dangar. Everybody's gone, basically. You're looking at that by the big names.
Starting 11
Bruno, Mason Mount, Anthony, Casemiro, Rashford. You've seen that, basically.
Let me ask you a question though. Is that based on like, are you being realistic, or is it
That's
just
not
based
me.
on
That's the
what
delegation.
is the delegation? Is it based on realistic what they want out, or just players that they think need to go? It's not like in one window. Basically, it's over the course. It must be over the course of multiple windows because United are not
Multiple
selling.
windows. No,
Yeah,
multiple windows. That's over multiple windows.
I can't lie. I don't know how Rasmus Højlund is on that keep part. He should be on the bench part.
Oh, he moved a
Yeah,
lot. It was the
I
last
think he should
caller.
be on
It
the
was
bench
the
part.
last caller. Someone else said VB came in and said, sell him now. He moved the most out of any other player that was there. He was like, some players
But
like him.
even Bruno's on the sell list.
Bruno's on the sell list. That's how they
Garnacho's on the bench. I think Garnacho might get sold. You know, that's a hot take I have. I'm not saying United should sell him, but I think United are going to look to make money as much as they can from players. So they're going to look at the most sellable academy products that they can sell.
Yeah,
So
you know what? So I'm with you on the. It's hard, man, because it makes sense to sell Garnacho purely on the basis of he could fund quite a bit of. We could get a decent fee for him.
yeah,
We could get
and
decent money.
also I don't think there's a role for him in the team. If I'm being
Thanks.
brutally honest, for me he's like Rashford. He's a wide player. United are not playing with a wide system. So if that is all you can offer, Matt Salama, you can go. Like,
But
peace.
you know what? But then where it gets crazy though is this is why Ruben has to stay. Because if we change the system, yeah,
Mm.
and then sell all these wide players, if we can't get rid of this manager, because a new manager, I promise you now, is not going to play free at the back.
No, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's why people like Wilcox and all of them have been key in terms of they want to create a system where even if the manager moves on, the kind of football may
It's
remain.
bullshit. It's
You don't
bullshit.
think so?
It's bullshit. That's total bullshit.
I feel like managers come with their own style. Like, look at Klopp
Yeah,
and Klopp, two different
it's
types of
bullshit.
football.
That's the
Same
biggest
players.
crock of shit that it was just lip service. Now we have to, because that one there, yeah, that's the best lip service. They said, we're going to focus on a game model. Yeah, remember that game model?
Yeah,
Like,
the game model. Yeah, the game model. Yeah.
well, what's this? Is this the game model that they designed? Free at the back and playing. We don't play that game model is cut. We
Don't
are
you
now
feel like they
playing.
prepared for that in the summer though, when they were? Cause bro, we brought Delit, we brought Euro, and we were linked to buying free centre backs that summer. Why would you want to buy free centre backs unless you're playing free in the back?
Unless they, and that's what I'm saying, unless they want this club to play free at the back but you can't recruit a manager and say play free at the back.
Yeah, it has to be
Do
the
that.
manager's philosophy.
The manager says, this is what I'm doing here. You heard Amram in his first interview said, hey guys, I have to be in charge. Like,
Yeah.
I'm working these players all the time. So while they have an idea, in theory, that's the idea of we do this, but then you can't just buy me a player that I don't want. Simple as that. Like, just you bring in a player, I can't work with him. He doesn't work in my system. And now Man United are going to get rid of, because the worst thing could do, let's say we sell Delo, we sell because we're playing wing backs. We sell Alejandro Garnacho and all these players that are wide. They go and kill it outside of this team. We get rid of Ruben and say these players don't work for the new manager system.
You're back at square one.
Back at square one with with mad bare centre backs. Yeah, we're gonna have bare centre backs and wing backs. Who needs that? And there'll be no wide players. And we'll say, but the new manager likes to play a 4-3-3. What do we do now? So we have to be careful. Obviously, these players can be adapted, but I just think that this is.
I feel like a couple of the players that you put on the sell list can have a role in the team, but maybe not a big role. But I genuinely think this summer, one marquee name is leaving United.
Oh, we already know who it is.
And yeah, and you know what, with like the whole Rashford thing, yeah, I was saying this last summer. You lot know, people say that I'm literally, if Marcus Rashford has no fans, that means Min is dead. Yeah, that's how much of a supporter I am of Rashford. But I was saying in the summer, for environmental purposes, for him and the club, it's best that he left.
All right, listen, I'm gonna let me just press this right now and let's see what the next topic is.
On the topic of recruitment.
Has our recruitment improved? So now, since you're talking about Rashford and the club is saying 40 million, but then we need
bro, 40 million is 1 foot. I don't care. That pissed me off when I saw that.
It shouldn't though.
He's not a 40 million player, bro.
He's like 60 million, but who's going to give us 60 million with his high wages?
He's like 70 million, and people are going to cuss me in the comments saying Mino is on crack. Yeah. But you're not getting a player like Marcus Rashford on this market right now for that price, for 40 million. That is a cheap price. United need to stop underselling their players.
No,
like,
but
why do we undervalue our players?
sell.
Why is it? Because I promise you right now, ask an Arsenal fan if they want to get rid of Martinelli. They're not going to say a stupid price like 40 million.
But Martinelli's wages are not like, it's the wages.
Yeah, maybe the wage thing. Yeah, maybe the wage thing.
It's only wage. It's the wages. If he wasn't had those wages, it would be fine. Man United wouldn't get rid of. What I think they're actually trying to do, yeah, this is the take from me, is they want a sell. They want, like, you know how like Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album, and it's or not Jay-Z at the moment, it's getting crazy. Let me think of another something that will be like a collector's. I can imagine.
Is that Watch the Throne? The Watch the Throne album.
There you go.
Yeah, the Watch the Throne album.
Still the artist, but anyway.
Still Kanye as well.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. You know what it is? It's like,
go on. Give me something that
it's like Craig David when he came out with that album, Born to Do It.
Born to do it. I don't know if people care about that 1 minute, man. Craig David was
like, you know what? It's like when, this might be a hot take.
A Messi's first shirt, Barcelona.
Nah, I'm trying to make it British culture, bro. When So Solid came out with 21 Seconds, that changed the grime scene. That changed the rap scene in the UK.
Finally, there you go. So just imagine, yeah, you say this is the price to just get the attention of everyone. Oh my God, like how they do Black Friday sales and stuff. So then it gets the attention, but then the bidding war starts. Because if any club hears Marcus Rashford is available for 40 million, Newcastle enter the chat. If I'm Arsenal, I enter the chat. If I'm one of any Italian team, because they love him, McTominay, imagine what you're gonna get over Marcus Rashford.
They like McTominay because he works hard, bro.
But you think Marcus Rashford's not gonna work hard where he goes next? He'll be fine. Any of these clubs, Bayern Munich, with all the
Bayern Munich, because they're getting rid of their left wingers as well.
There you go. Bayern Munich, Rashi at Bayern, mad. That's English, like it's Harry Kane. Elise, wait, no, Elise is French,
French, but even so, like with Musiala, that is a ridiculous front four. That would be a ridiculous.
It's mad, and there you go, 40 million. It's now all of a sudden it's making sense, and then guess what? Now all these clubs start talking. That price will go up, and I think you probably get to like 55 million, and everyone's left the chat. I don't think people are gonna in Jan. Because we're ready to.
You think United's trying to sell him in January?
January, yes. Because he's not going to have the value. He's not going to. Rashford is not going to start enough games under this manager. He's already left him out.
Yeah,
biggest game, two Premier League games in a row. He's left him out. That told me a message.
You know, that told me a message when he left him out of the Forest game, because before that game, Amram said that he was like, I have a rough idea of my best 11. And you'll see a lot of them tomorrow. He was like, you'll see them tomorrow. So when I saw Rashford dropped, I said, yeah, Ahmad starting and Rashford dropped. This is definitely his preferred.
This is it. It's time. You're a bench man for me. You're coming off the bench. Or it could be a situation where Rashford has to put in certain performances that forces the manager to change his mind. And he did say in his last presser that some days I think this, other days I'm thinking that. I still don't know. I've been here for a month.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really gauge what he thinks about the squad totally. But Rashford being rested, like he's had a lot of rest. To not start against Forest is mad telling.
To not start against Arsenal for me is mad, because your record against the top six has got you into the starting lineup every time against the top six.
And Garnacho's stinking up the place.
He's smelling the place up. Yeah, he's smelling.
But then it tells you everything. But then if we go back to the original question, right?
And that's what I wanted to ask you about the recruitment, yeah? You go to the recruitment one.
Look at it. But then keep and sell. But look who's there. When you look at recruitment, look at that. It's De Ligt, Lenny Euro, Ugarte, Mazraoui. So when you talk,
in the last
those are the latest names. Now, the only one that's not really there is Xerxes, but Xerxes moved between bench and sell, but he mainly was on the bench, if I'm being honest. It was like the last 2 or 3 callers that said, what is that Xerxes there? Move him. Do you know what I mean? So, but then
the whole recruitment thing in the last 3 windows, because I say this all the time, I think Erik ten Hag left behind a tough squad to work with. And I actually think that the first window was probably, the first window in that season, we benefited
Right.
from that window. Like, we had Lisandro Martinez, we had Casemiro, and in that first season, they had good performances. But since then, I think it's maybe Mazraoui that we brought this summer that has impressed everyone. Last summer, I couldn't tell you one guy that we brought in the summer that was good in the second season.
I think Ugarte is impressed,
I think Ugarte is a steady Eddie. Like, that's my thoughts on him. I don't think he's the sole answer to the midfield. I think United actually needs someone more physical in the middle that's better on the ball.
Physical than Ugarte. I saw,
Yeah,
even the goal that he scored, the goal that he set up for who ran onto it, he's a nice splitting pass.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't think he had that. I
He
thought
doesn't have the passing in his locker. It comes out in like little moments. Yeah,
there you
little
go.
moments.
And then he looks like, for most players that we got, I'm happy with that signing. I'm really happy with Ugarte.
Are you happy with the again? Let's go to the recruitment side, because this kind of links to like Dan Ashworth and Ineos and everything. The fact that United chased him all that time in the summer to end up paying the fee that PSG was asking for from the beginning. Don't you think that wasted a lot of time?
Yeah, but then we had to send
They were adamant. The Arabs over there, they don't ramp in it at PSG.
Yeah.
They said 50 million, that's it.
Yeah.
And
I think there's the payment structure. I think it's a payment structure.
Yeah, again, broke billionaires. But for me, it's like, you could have had him a lot earlier. Again, we wouldn't have had the midfield issues that we had early in the season.
But Ten Hag wouldn't have played him though.
Yeah, because he wasn't a Ten Hag signing. And I always had that impression, like, from when we signed him. When Ten Hag actually said in the press conference that he would have he said he'd rather have kept Scott McTominay and not get Ugarte.
What?
Yeah, he said that when Scott McTominay left, and he did a whole monologue about Scott McTominay leaving and how much he's going to miss him. And he said, I'd rather have kept Scott McTominay and not got Ugarte. That's when I knew Ugarte is holding the bench at least till Ten Hag gets sacked.
And this is what I'm saying. There's so many little issues and stuff, like, and mistakes that we make. I don't know if my door's going to knock. 1 second. I'm going to pause it and then.
All right.
Yep, we are back. Apologies. You're obviously the Amazon delivery people and that, so they just mess up the flow of the thing. I think we're still on recruitment.
Yeah,
we're on the topic of recruitment, and you said that Ugarte is not the. Was you saying he's not?
I said he's not the answer, like the sole answer to the midfield. Like, one person I'm worried about in this system is Kobe.
Yeah,
I'm worried about Kobe in this system because I feel like this system, the two midfielders, it gets them quite deep. And I've said this all the time. I don't think Kobe's a deep lying midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's that. I think he excels at best in the tight spaces further up the pitch. I would love to see him in the 10.
He looked all right where he was.
Do you actually think? I think that we haven't seen the Kobe we've been used to, but that's also because he's been out injured. So
we're not going to see that Kobe again.
I'm cautious of that. You don't think we're going to see that?
No, not like that. He won't play in that way because Ten Hag's style. This is the thing. Like, now we got, like, you see when Kobe was shining just because everything was shit. He's still an Eastern player, but we'll play better. We're playing system football now. What people was looking for before. Kobe would have to do the unthinkable or do just above the average of what everyone else is doing. Give the ball to him because he's the difference maker. Are you with me? Now, what he's gonna do is gonna look after the ball and he's gonna maybe control the tempo of the game in the deep position that he's in now. Now that's gonna be hard for him. Not saying it's gonna be hard for him to glow and stuff, but then you have to really watch the game, assess the game properly, and see. He's doing something really good there, but I don't think it's gonna be as eye-catching and dazzling as
I just don't want him deep. I don't want him deep in the pitch. I expect as time goes on, United's backline will get higher and higher and higher. Yeah, so he might not be deeper all the time, but I just feel like we should get the opportunity to see him in the 10. If Garnacho can play in the 10, why can't he? Like, genuine question, guys. If Garnacho can play there, why can't he? He's better at linking up. He's better in tighter spaces. Garnacho needs too many touches. Garnacho needs to dribble. When you're playing in those 2 10s, I don't think you need to be dribbling too much.
Garnacho's in for intensity and energy purposes alone at the moment.
Energy hype. What are we? Eon, bro. What are we? Eon.
We need it. No, because again, these guys are not running. They're not running, though, sis. They're not running.
And I know the manager keeps talking about that.
Issue. It's a big issue for him. He said minimum run. Minimum run. He didn't even say, he said running is phase 1 of his, this is what I expect. Run, then understand the tactics, start winning games, like literally, run and win games. But he said then there's different levels of expectation. This is phase 1, and it's the easiest. In his head, this is the easiest part of the game. But Man United have never ran well.
But these men are running with no like. Have you ever gone on a run outside where
Mm-hmm.
you have no kind of route that you're going on? You're just running. That's what some of these players look like they're doing half the time. That's what I'm saying is energy hype.
No,
Garnacho
but
when he's running is
oh no,
no
Garnacho's
direction.
running without direction. I'm saying some of these players are not. Like, we all can see it. Like Amarim, I believe Amarim's smarter coach than most of us that watch football. He's gone into the dressing room and said, you're playing. There has to be a reason for that. Now, we can say his tech is dead or this, that, and the other, but then, well, why is he choosing these guys? And he has to, because he didn't buy these players. This is all inherited. But he's saying, I will rather him that's running with no direction than a jogger.
That is true. That is true. That's true.
That's when it comes down. You know what I mean? He's saying, like, I can see how you are in this bit, but I need this as a standard. It's like getting a phone and it hasn't got a camera or Bluetooth. What is that phone? It's not like, what do you mean? Like, where is that?
It's literally that is doing its job. That's a bad example, bro.
No,
the phone is doing its job to call people.
A smartphone that can't. A smartphone.
Okay, a smartphone, yeah.
A smartphone with no camera, no Bluetooth. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's not a smartphone. That phone needs classroom.
That's a dumb phone. It's not a smartphone.
It's a dumb phone. That's what I'm saying. Today you go, and this is where we are. We got a lot of players that are there's a lot about their game that they should be playing, but then, mate, that first part I need for my thing to work, you have to have it. And that's why, like, I'm gonna say the recruitment. I still score the recruitment quite high.
Out of 10, what would you score the recruitment over the last 3 summers?
Oh, not the last 3 summers. You can't do that.
Okay, this summer.
This summer,
what would you score the recruitment?
6.
6.
I wish we signed it. I wish we signed another striker. Well, not the striker we signed. I wish we signed.
You're on that level now where you don't even say his name.
No, I just didn't want to be rude. I just wish we signed Ivan Toney. Like, that would have been way better.
Toney, you know what's funny? Yeah, I watched the Saudi league, innit? He's not even ripping it up in the Saudi league. How can you go to the Saudi league on your level of football talent that you got?
Yeah,
and you're some dead striker, bro.
Well, he's just dead out there.
He's not a good striker out there. He's not a good striker. I watch his team a lot, Al Ahly, and I'm just like, maybe he's just there for the pay. Like,
I think he's not there for the right reasons now.
Because you have to be out of the UK for a certain number of years before you get your tax. Otherwise, your tax will get backdated, and you'd have to pay a lot of tax. And obviously, they're making tax-free money in it, so he has to be out. He has to be out of the country for a bit to make his money.
Yeah,
which I get it. It's generational wealth, bro. He's looking after his family for generations to come. But when I'm watching him, I'm like, bro, come back to the Premier League.
I don't think we would have seen something better at Man United. Definitely. We slotted him in it. Just imagine, you're talking about Amarim Ball, yeah? Let's have it right. If he's the main guy, target guy, we would have enjoyed. Because he's not getting bullied. That's one thing for sure. You're not bullying him. I've watched him be the bully in that Brentford side with our centre backs. So I could imagine if we got 2 10s behind him and trying to find him, we would have been okay.
And the thing is, he can find people as well. That's because he was playing with Wissa and Mbeumo. He can find them as well.
He knows how to suffer. I'm talking about suffering. Brentford is suffering, really. He knows how to suffer as a striker. And he'll say, don't worry, guys, link man, I'm going to bring you in and I'm going to make it difficult for anyone I'm playing against. That's what I would have liked.
Is there any striker in this market right now you'd like United to go after? Because we've been linked to a lot of your countrymen.
Boniface.
We've been linked to way too many Nigers. What's going on?
Well. I got to be responsible because I can't do this without saying I just want anyone. Like Boniface, I'll take him at the club. Osimhen, first choice. Guaranteed. He'll be brilliant for us. That's what give me that. Now, and then I think we should have got a striker, like a recognized striker. So, we didn't know we was not going to have a left back, but a left back, and I would have been happy with a window. That window would have been, I don't think it's ever going to be like a a 9 or anything because there's too much to fix. But that would have let us know we're on our way. If you gave me a left back, Osimhen as a fantastic, phenomenal.
Fair.
What are you? What are you saying? What would you like if you could? And what would you rate the window?
I'd rate the window of a 5. I think it was looking back at it. I think at the time I said 6, so I'm only probably putting it down by 1. But it's just because
what's taking it down by 1? Just out of interest.
Because I'm looking at who we brought. We brought De Ligt, we brought Mazraoui, we brought Xerxes, Ugarte.
Yeah.
And then we brought a bunch of academy kids.
Yeah.
I think it's because outside of Mazraoui, I don't think anyone else has really wowed me. Like De Ligt, I think De Ligt's been good, but I think he's got like deficiencies that Man United might struggle. Like, I don't know if you watched the Forest game. They sat off him when he had the ball because he can't progress the ball. Yeah, and this is why I always said Maguire was better than him at that.
You see when Maguire came on and he started switching the diags.
And that's why I think De Ligt is not going to have a long-term role like in the future. Like, he might be a leader and, you know, a character in the dressing room that you need, but
he could be the right centre back though.
He's gonna get paced out.
He could do it though. He could do it.
He probably could. He
could have been paced out many times in the where he plays. You can easily, if you got a back four, of him and that guy from Spurs, that big head. What's the player's name again?
Romero or Van de Ven?
No, the one where he was at when he was at Dyer.
Oh, Eric Dyer. Yeah,
them two were just together. Like, they were together and they could marshal. Sometimes you don't.
Bayern Munich had Upamecano. That guy is one. He's got an error in him every game.
There you go.
Kim Min Jae, he got the disease from Upamecano as well because he was making weird mistakes that season.
We wanted Kim Min Jae as well.
Yeah, before he went to Bayern. I like Kim Min Jae. You know who I think we dodged a bullet with? UEFA. This is the only time I'm gonna salute you guys. Todibo. We dodged a bullet with Todibo.
My God!
Because not even just him, how he plays. I don't know if you follow the drama at West Ham right now with the manager, and he's beefing the manager in the dressing room. They're getting taken apart because they're arguing, and he's been told to train by himself at one point because he feels like he's being scapegoated. But I can't remember what game it was that I was watching, and that's the day that I realized, oh my God, I'm so glad United didn't sign this guy.
Swear down.
So we dodged the bullet with that.
You know what, UEFA? Shout out to you lot for sanctions and telling us to respect ourselves. All right, we got the final piece, and what's the last question that we had again? 1 second. Has that improved? 1 second. That's it. Champions League or just training time? Time to just focus on training.
So for some context, the other day on the Straight Jacket pod on Saeed's channel, we were arguing this because Saeed was saying United need Champions League football for the revenue, for the money, and the rest of the people were saying, listen, if United can win Europa League, cool. My stance is if when you're a new manager with a new style of football, the best way to get it into your players' head is through repetition. Like, they could be as dumb as we think they are, but the best way to learn something is repetition. Like, when you're learning a new language, repetition. When you're learning a new skill, repetition. So he needs, for me, as much time on the training course as much that Man United can deal with. Chelsea last season, I think it was not in any competition. Remember, they didn't have the best of seasons, but this season they're able, because of they got 50,000 players, they're able to have 2 different squads. So the core team is not playing in flipping Kazakhstan tonight in minus 10 degrees. Cole Palmer and them guys, they're not playing. And United don't have that luxury. So for me, the best way that Amorim can drill his football into them is through repetition and through as much training time. Because when United are in Europa League or pushing, for me, the best way to, and I've always said this even under Ten Hag, the best way to identify improvement is your bread and butter, the Premier League. If you're improving in the Premier League, then you know that the team is improving the performance. Europa League, we scammed a win, bro, against Bodo Glimt. Don't mean that necessarily United are doing well, but you know that the team's struggling because we've just lost 2 Premier League games on the bounce. So I'm going to disagree. You're going to disagree?
Absolutely.
Do you think United need Champions League football?
No, not Champions. We're not a Champions League side. We don't need Champions League. I'll take Europa again, but you can't. I want to win.
You take Europe. Okay.
I'll take Europe again, just because where these players need to get it right is on the pitch. We do some dumb things. Man United, just to counteract or the statement that you made before the game, he set up against Arsenal corners. All we worked on, we trained corners. Yeah. Tell me why our players are just together. Tell me why players are getting sandwiched between, like, tell me why, like, we're losing our man and we don't know where we are.
But they do zonal marking from corners.
Zonal, but even with zonal, why is your zone not, like, you ain't got your zone on lock? You know what I'm saying? Even in zonal, like, what's happening in your zone then? Because let's see, you're supposed to, anything that happens in this area, in this zone, is mine. So guess what? I clear it and I get it away. Well, if we focused on that and done corner after corner to teach this thing, and then you make the mistake and then go into the next game, imagine you lot face 13 corners. You can't do, how much training do you want? 13 corners against Arsenal, yeah? And to concede 2 goals. Go into your next game and you're going to get done by set pieces again.
I agree with that, yeah? Because the end all or be all is not, it's not what you do in training, it's also in game. But the idea of United being in Champions League football scares me.
No, I'm not saying champion. That's the thing. I'm not trying to
Would you be happy with conference? 3:30 kickoffs?
No, because we ain't got the squad that's solid enough to, you probably could send the kids there. But then Europa, I think Europa's our level. You know what I mean? At the moment, Europa's our level. But then this Europa, I'm so blessed that they've actually changed what the Champions League looks like. Because imagine PSG and Man City dropping into where we are now.
It'd be peak. It'd be so peak.
Imagine the teams.
But I don't think they would have crashed out in the groups. If it was group stages, playing Copenhagen and all these random teams, I don't think they would have been. I think it's because this league format, you can match up against 2 big teams, 2 big top seeded teams. You can match up against 2 second seeded, third seeded, and then 4th seeded. So bro, I was looking at the top 8 today, and I'm like, how are Lille in the top 8? But they are pretty good this season.
This is what I'm saying. You can't hide. Football will tell the truth.
You can't hide in this.
You can't hide in this thing.
Yeah, in this new system.
And guess what? In this new system, but I'm blessed that they're not going to drop down into the Europa, because we are let them arrive. You know, the big guns. Now I like this new format. It's working for me, really. Man United just need to qualify, and this, I think we can go on and win this tournament. Honestly, I swear to God, I think we can fix the problems, and that's why game time is important. I think we fix the problems with as much of this tournament as possible, because they're only going to learn in games. In games, it's going to tell all the truth. You'll see something in training and think, oh, you can do that. The game will tell you what's going on.
But do you think, just quickly on that, do you think it's hoping that United go on a run of like winning games across the course of the next couple months? Because I actually think this month's going to be a tough month for United. I really do.
Nasty. We're not even. Let's quickly look at the Manchester derby quickly. Let's just look ahead to that, because there's no point in tonight's game. God help us tonight. The game against Man City.
I think if we can't beat City at their lowest.
Don't do that,
No, you know what it's like, honestly, guys, I'm gonna give you like example. You know, if you got an older sibling, I got better older siblings.
Yeah.
If I got an older sibling and they're going through shit, like they're going through a rough time in life, and we're beefing, if I don't use that opportunity to beat up my sibling and take the win, then I'm a dickhead.
Oh my God!
I shouldn't have used that as an example. People don't think I'm a bad person.
As a child, no, because I understand what you're saying. Because I'm in the middle.
I'm the youngest.
Okay, see, that's definitely said.
So I have to use that one chance I get to get. You know, when you're getting broken up in a fight, me and my siblings used to fight all the time, sisters. Yeah. And one of them just gets a licking, and then my mom will stop it, and I'll hide behind my mom. And while my mom's shouting at my sibling, I'll just use that one opportunity to get a licking and then hide behind my mom. That's what Sunday is. That's what Sunday is.
It's the problem, because we're Respirate FC. We are CPR FC. Yeah. We say, hold on, are you dying? Are you dying? We got you. Is your team not in confidence at the moment? Are you struggling with anything? Is there anything that you feel that needs to be fixed? Play Man United. we will make it all right again.
No, but also, bro, like I feel like we're being too harsh on ourselves because I think people have figured out the code of how to impact Man City, and I also think if United have good centre backs that can do a job, you can keep Haaland quiet. Haaland is a great goal scorer, but outside of scoring goals, he doesn't do anything else that a striker does, which is why it's easier to nullify him than it would be. I feel like people might think I'm crazy, but I think like Isaac would be more of a handful as a centre back to deal with than Haaland, because Haaland, you just stop him from getting a shot and you're good.
If Haaland played for us, we would have hounded him out of here. 100%. We would have I'm telling you, doesn't do any part of the link-up play. We would have brushed him. Haaland,
he can't find someone. He can't do anything.
Nothing.
He's not, like,
what
he can't
get mad about our players for, he would get finished.
You know who else would get finished at United? Bro, Jack Grealish. He ain't scored a goal all calendar year. Do you know what has happened in this whole calendar year? And he hasn't scored a goal. A lot has happened.
Even through the Drake and Kendrick beef, he didn't score a goal. Are you telling me even through Diddy getting to jail and being free? And no, you're lying.
I swear to God, he has not scored a goal in the calendar year.
Even with Schofield coming back and he's on the island by himself, he still ain't scored.
All of that.
Nah, Jadon Sancho left Man United and joined.
Jadon Sancho's played for 3 teams this year, and he still hasn't scored.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, that's ridiculous. Nah, wait, hold on, I need that.
Are you telling me
he hasn't scored in 44 games for Man City this calendar year?
100 million. Souness would have never let Pogba get away with such a thing. Souness would have been on Pogba's neck. Are you telling me that's...
And he still gets into the England squad. That's what kills me the most. He must be a really nice guy, and he sounds like a very sound bloke.
He must be the sound.
But how the hell is he still getting into the England team?
It's embarrassing. That's how I feel.
So we got this team, and he ain't scored no goal. I swear to Man United, if you let Jack Grealish pull up and score a goal before the year, because the year's almost out, we're almost done. If you, man, Nance, I love you, bro.
I hope he ain't got a mistake in him. I really hope he doesn't have a mistake in him. You know, I was actually having this conversation the other day. Do you think United can succeed with Onana in goal? Because he doesn't draw any confidence. He doesn't instill any confidence, I think, into fans and to the team. He's always got an error in him. Liverpool fans never felt like that.
He's got... So the error comes every 4 or 5.
That's a lot.
Every 4 or 5 games.
That's a lot, bro. If you're playing 65 games in the season, how many errors is that? That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's like over like 14, I think. 14 errors a season. If you're saying every 5 games,
that's mad, isn't it?
That's crazy. And given the fact
his errors are crazy. And do you know what's pissing me off about Onana? I have to be honest. His kicking is shambolic.
His passing.
They told me Satnav. They told me I can find anyone.
That's a Satnav with low battery, bro.
Pinging it out of play. He can't ping it to the player that we need. Like, we've been like, do we owe De Gea an apology?
No, I think it's, you know what, as fans, we're so guilty of like romanticizing something that was once upon a time.
De Gea's doing well, you know.
It's like, you know, if you're dating and you're dating someone and they're not really like good at communication, and then you think about that ex that was so good at communication but was a dickhead.
Yeah, you communicate.
That's what we like to romanticize stuff. Yeah. Shout out to him. He's doing well at Fiorentina right now, so shout out to him. But it was the right time to part ways. I actually felt bad the way like we treat not we, but I'm saying like Erik ten Hag, how they put a contract on the table and then took it back. Like, you don't treat a legend like that. Was
nasty though. That goal at West Ham, you know, when it trickled in. And
I remember we were doing the match review.
Was so I still can't forget that.
He has to go. He has to go.
Get him out. I wanted to fight him.
Get him out. I swear, for like a whole minute straight, you were just like, get him out.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying I'm just a fraud. We're all frauds, man. Listen, people, you know what to do. At Minna Football. Go and just follow her. Minna, I've got to pull up on your channel because I haven't done that yet.
We need to do it. We'll do it this month.
Yes.
We'll do it this month.
You lot know what to do. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you for watching the show. we're gonna quickly give our what's your? I'm not gonna do my prediction, but give me let's do a now prediction. How we're feeling today before playing our City, yeah. Before playing today, but how are you feeling about that City game? What's the score?
How I'm feeling about City game, I think it could be like a 1-1.
Give her a draw.
But if it, like you said, CPR FC, bro, you need to come back, come play United.
2-1 at
2-1.
the moment. 2-1 City, yeah. 2-1 City.
That'll be 2 wins in like 11 games for them. So still, who has the last laugh?
I just feel like they're just gonna be so ready. They lost to Juve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, people, thank you for watching. We are out of here. United, the sleeping giant. United, the sleeping giant. United, the sleeping giant.
Wake up out of your sleep. Wake up.
With Miller and KG.